educators on the platform are HFX. I don't know why, but I never even thought about that. Why am I watching HFX? So the person that I've been watching is called Matthew Thayer. And the strategy is called Cash Trap, which I'm going to go through in a second. But literally everything I've learned, I've literally been watching his favorite section. Literally just been watching this for the past week. I haven't watched all of them, but I've watched the majority of them. And literally just go through it. He says the same thing, but in different ways to make you understand. And so, just share my screen. So yeah, his strategy is called Cash Trap, and basically his strategy is where he basically places 3-minute trades. It could be buy or sell, which is called a call is called a buy in HFX, and a put is called a sell. And he basically takes 3-minute trades, and and that's just his strategy. But I listened to this quote yesterday from one of the educators on HFX, and it kind of made sense to me about the transition of trading and HFX. Coming just realized a lot of things. So the quote is, "Trading the markets can feel as tumultuous as a merciless sea amidst a great storm, or as peaceful as a morning sunrise, depending on your level of preparation." So obviously I had to Google what tumultuous means, but it basically means like noise. So in the markets, depending on how you are as a person, you can see the markets as this crazy environment. Obviously HFX is much faster. It's 1-minute trades, 2-minute trades, 3-minute trades. It's a fast environment. So you can see it as a crazy environment that you have no control over, or you can see it as an environment where you're when you're trading, like it's all about, obviously people say it's about psychology. So how are you when you trade? And that just made me realize that the big key is dependent on your level of preparation. So when you go into your trade, do you have your strategy in place? Do you know what you're going to risk? Do you know what your exit strategy is? Do you know how much you want to go in for as a trade? So it's just certain things you need to think about before entering a trade, because to be real, like as I've gone through this past week, I've realized that trading HFX can get addicting. Like I think I placed at least like 50 trades this past week, so they can definitely get addicting. But yeah, the whole idea of trading in a few minutes can literally change your whole mindset about trading, because obviously with Forex, you wait a couple of hours for your setup, and then a few hours later, you'll find your setup at TP 1, 2, or 3. But with this, you can literally find out within a few minutes if you're right or wrong. So it's definitely eye-opening. So to get into a strategy, I'm going to show in a second, but I just thought I'd go through a couple of things. So he basically has a point system, and for every confirmation, you can assign 1 point. So he basically says the minimum that you want to take is a 3-point trade, which is a good trade. It's fairly decent. A better trade would be 4 points, and then an amazing trade would be 5+ points. So I'm going to go through the point system in the next slide. So as an example, it gives an option for a call, which is a buy. So the minimum you need is a green arrow. He even said that even just taking the arrows is around 60% accurate. So if you just want to do that, then obviously you can, but also you want higher probability trades. So there's also something called the currency strength meter. I'll just get up. So if you go into strategies, okay, 1670. But yeah, if you go into strategies, HFX, it's actually on the hourglass strategy. And then if you click on the top left, it should have Cash Trap right there. So this is what it looks like. So in terms of the whole strategy itself, it actually refreshes every 5 minutes. So there should be a setup fairly frequently if you're patient enough. And the first one, you won't be able to see it right now because the market's closed. But on the right-hand side, you'll be able to see setups. which looks like this. So the currency strength meter, which is the second confirmation, is on the right-hand side. So basically what it's saying is, in this example, the USD is the top one and JPY is the second one. And if the USD is stronger, which obviously is a higher number, then that means the USD is stronger. So that's a good sign of a buy. And if the second one is stronger, so JPY, if it was, I don't know, like 60 or something, that'd be a good confirmation of a sell. So it's just enough extra confirmation of which currency is stronger in that moment. And obviously, if it refreshes every 5 minutes, so it's up to date. So the first confirmation is the green arrow. The second is the currency strength index. And the third is support and resistance. So if you look at these, I can't see on there. If you look at these red lines there, these are support and resistance zones. So in this example right here, you can see that price is literally touching the support in this example. That's one confirmation that you can look for. The fourth one is a cross up on the stochastic. So this indicator right here is the stock. So what you're looking for is a oversold market in a buy. So which literally just means that if it's below the green line, it's oversold. So if something's over, you need to switch to the other side so there's balance. So it's literally going to go like this and come back up, and that's what you're looking for. And that's so that's one confirmation. And by the way, I'm just going through it quickly just because obviously there's two speakers, but if you want more information, you're just going to go lives. But the fifth one is the RSI, which is basically the same thing, looking for it to go below the green line and for it to turn like that. That's another sign of confirmation. There's also the DXY. So obviously, if you've already done Forex, you already know what the DXY does. It's a reflection of currencies. It's a basket of currencies. So say, for example, the DXY is in a market structure of going up. You're trading USD JPY and it's going up. That's a good sign to buy. And same way, you can use that as a confirmation. And also, if you've got the USD JPY as a higher number and you've got the DXY, that's two confirmations right there, just by looking at the strength of currencies. And there's also the B stochastic indicator. So this is what that is. So if it has a B, that's a good sign of buying. If it has an S, that's a good sign of selling. And the last one is the red Bollinger Band. So if you see this line at the top, going like that, that's the Bollinger Band, and that's a good sign. If it's there, then that's a good sign of buying. Oh, sorry, that should be green. But yeah, so in this example, it's actually at the Bollinger Band, so that's a good sign of buying. So in this example, for a buy, there's one confirmation because the USD is higher than the JPY. That's one. Two, because the black line. Three, the arrow. Four, that green support line. Five, and then the green Bollinger Band as well. Six. So that's a 6-point trade, which if you look on the confirmations, that's an amazing trade and you should take it. And it may seem like a lot of information, but when you actually start to see it, the confirmations line up quite frequently. That's why I was able to take like 50 trades throughout the week, because it keeps constantly going throughout the literally any time frame. Your sessions will go on at 4 a.m. in the morning. I don't know, some people may not be willing to do that, but I did wake up for sessions and obviously take some trades, go back to sleep and wake up for work or whatever. But you can literally trade 24/7 throughout the week. But Cash Trap doesn't actually work on weekends. It closes the same way that Forex does, but obviously the markets are still open. But I'll just go through the sell option, which is the put. So the first one is a red arrow, which is the second number needs to be higher for you to take the confirmation. So in this example, the first one is actually higher, but he says that if it isn't in the right, if it doesn't have the right number, then you can actually minus a point. So for example, in this one, if it didn't have this one, then it would be a 5-point trade rather than a 6-point trade. So just minus a point. Just to go from them again, if you can see a red line, that's it. So the arrow, the resistance line, which is the red line there, the overbought and overbought there. But then because this isn't, because the USD isn't stronger, then you have to minus a point. So this is actually a 3-point trade, which is still considered good and depends on if you want to take it or not. But that's cash traps in, but the markets aren't open. But the way to practice and see them is to go through the market and use vertical lines. So for example here, let's make that a bit thicker. So it's at the Bollinger Band. It's got the S. It's overbought. Hey, sorry, let me do that again. So it's got the red Bollinger Band. It's got the S. It's overbought on both of them. So that's a 4-point trade. And if you had the red arrow as well, so that'd be 5 points. So that's just one example, and you could just go for the market and backtest that. But that's just one example. And yeah, just to end things off, obviously with HFX, you can go in the Go Live sessions and take the educators trades, but at the end of the day, we're also here to be self-sufficient traders. So it's up to you to go on Cash and actually take trades for yourself. And actually just realize that regardless of whether an educator calls out a trade and you make money or lose money, you're still responsible for taking that trade. And with HFX, it's easy to obviously get lost in the environment, as I was talking about in the beginning. So that's why our plan is so important. And obviously, I would say to have a certain limit to how much you trade as well, because you don't want to make the money and just lose it. Same way with Forex. So it's good to have a set out plan of what you want to have. And a key thing about trading and investing and things like that, the same way to make £5 is the same way to make £50. So you just literally buy and selling, and just need a bigger account. And over the past few days, probably saw about Ness Vequest or something like that. I can't remember his last name, but he made like 12 million in 3 minutes. So it also didn't start off like that. It took him years to get there, but he probably started making, like, for example, £12 in 3 minutes, £120 in 3 minutes, 120,000 in 3 minutes. Like he gradually made his way up. So with that principle, you just need to compound your account and continuously increase it. And then that's how we have to get those gains. And yeah, makes a practice on that one. But yeah, so just to leave it on the last thing, they say about compounding your account, same way in Forex, but they say to go for 2%, which is quite doable. And he said if you do 2% a day for 4 days out of the week, so you have to trade every day, and take out weekends, just by doing that for a year, that's not right. Is that right? I don't think that's right. But basically, you can make a simple compound plan and basically just grow your money over a period of time. And it's much easier to do consistently with HFX rather than Forex. But yeah, thank you for listening anyway. Umar, take it away.
Wow. Cool, wicked. Anyone who got value from Jay, just drop a 1 in the chat box. Honestly, I want you guys to understand that when it comes to speaking on these calls and so on and so forth, it's not easy, and Jay, literally, I chucked him in the deep end literally yesterday, right? And everything. But honestly, guys, I want you guys to understand that when it comes to any strategy, you guys, because Jay pretty much perfectly mentioned it, you might be thinking these 6 confirmations, or 3, 4, 5, 6 confirmations, whichever ones you're looking for. Obviously, 5 is the best one you can get, but obviously the more the better. When it comes to looking for these confirmations, right now you might be thinking, crap, how the hell am I meant to remember all of that? But I want you guys to understand, trading is one of those things where it's about training your eye, right? The more you mark up these confirmations, the more it just naturally comes. I remember in my previous workplaces, I remember in Carphone Warehouse when I used to work there, first it was whenever a customer used to bring an issue on their phone, I just think, why are you bringing it to me for? I don't know what I'm doing, right? But obviously, the more you do it and the more you learn and so on and so forth, the more naturally that it comes when fixing a phone and so on and so forth. And the same thing when it comes to a strategy. When it comes to my Forex strategy, first time it was crazy. But the more I kept doing it, the easier it was for me just to spot these trends. Most of the times now, I don't recommend this, but I don't need to draw on the charts in order to know where not exactly where the market's going to go, but I have a rough estimate of where the market's going to go without drawing on it. And then when I put my confirmations on, then I get a more accurate result. So don't be daunted by that. That's what I'm saying. But honestly, Jay, there's no one better I could have put on. You've done an amazing job. But that's the HFX segment of the call, right? Obviously, we're here to talk about the next segment now. The next segment, this is the cryptocurrency segment. This is the DCX segment, right? Now, cryptocurrency is something that's been around for 7 years now, right? Well, not 7 years, sorry. I haven't been around for 7 years. I'm getting confused. We're 8 years coming up soon. But crypto has been over the last decade, it's been around, right? I'm not going to get into what crypto is. You guys are part of the team. You've already heard what crypto is about, right? But I want to talk about one person, right? This person, he's one of the educators, right? He's actually one of the educators here, right? His name's Ivan Paychecks. I remember when I first met Ivan Paychecks, first time I ever heard him speak. A lot of people that have heard him speak will vouch for this. He kept saying, buy Bitcoin, buy Bitcoin, buy Bitcoin. I remember first when you were saying that, I'm like, yeah, bro, okay, maybe one day, right? I'm trying to focus on Forex first, right? He told me to buy Bitcoin when Bitcoin was worth roughly about, I think first time I ever heard him say it, Bitcoin was worth around $2,000 or so, to 2,000 something, right? It's now worth, in pounds, is about 43,000 pounds per coin, right? People have literally, 4, 5, 6,000, whatever, sitting in their bank accounts, like savings, right? Imagine you bought 3 Bitcoins when Ivan Paychecks first told you to, right? That's what I mean. This is why knowing these industries is so important. And this is why I'm here to talk about the main man tonight, right? The main man for crypto tonight, right? We had the main man, Jay, talking about HFX. And now we got the other main man for DCX coming and talk about crypto, right? This is someone, a lot of you guys in the team will know him as SarvCoin, right? But let me tell you a bit about this individual. This is someone that I didn't know before I am, right? We went to the same uni. I might have even seen him in a few uni classes. I don't actually remember because I was barely there. I'm not going to lie, right? If you guys are uni students, go uni, right? But yeah, this is someone that I didn't really know beforehand. I met him through the business. But this is someone that he told me himself for the first few months, he wasn't really doing much. He was watching one academy video per week, if you're lucky, right? And everything. But he then made a decision. And I want you guys to understand, when it comes to seeing results in anything, it's about making a decision. Doesn't make sense. If you want to become serious in something, you have to make the decision, I'm going to take this seriously, and then you're going to get the serious results. And this was someone who took the decision to take it seriously. Everyone around him was trading Forex. No one was trading D6 back then, right? No, because it was quite new, right? I don't know why he made this decision to go to DCX, but honestly, it was probably one of the best things he could have done for himself because he's someone that's en route to becoming I don't know if you want me to say it, but I'm gonna say it, en route to becoming an educator and putting the plans in place to become one. Right, our own UK crypto educator. Right, obviously there's work that's going to need to be done, but the fact is the knowledge is there. This is someone that when it comes to in Traders Empire, he's known as a crypto king, right? He's known as a crypto king, and there's no one else better I can bring on, for the crypto segment today than my brother Sarv. Sarv, unmute your mic, bro, and take it away. All good, bro. We can hear you. Take it away, bro.
Drop something in the chat. Yeah, cool, perfect. So again, what I'm gonna, by the way, thank you Uma for introducing me. Literally, crypto, from what Ivan Paycheck's Crypto Picasso have been saying about Bitcoin especially, and how we can utilize SwipeCoin to like benefit and like utilize the platform to benefit from these markets is insanely easy compared to like if you're just going blind, right? Because again, we pretty much we get it given to us. But basically, if you don't know, if you haven't used DCX before, just I'll just like show you how to gain access to it, right? So when you go into the IM Center, like Jay showed you, go on strategies, and then there'll be a DCX option, right? Whilst loading up, let me know if you haven't used DCX before. So if you have used DCX, put yes. If you haven't used, type in no. So yeah, just click on DCX Academy and then the swipe coin scalper, right? Okay, there's a mixture, no's and yeses, cool. Hopefully everyone will be start using the scalper at the end of this call. So yeah, whoops. So when you log onto the scalper, let me refresh that for you guys. When you log onto the scalper, there'll be a tutorial that just pops up right now. This tutorial is kind of a few months old now. So again, this was back when Bitcoin was around like 10, 20K. So it's less volatile, but it's literally a 15 to 20-minute video from Picasso, both in English and if you have Spanish members, there's a Spanish video as well. And it just shows you the simple steps, right, which I'm going to go through. Now, when it comes to go live, obviously you can watch Picasso and Nick Gomez, but if you're fully brand new to SwipeCoin, then I fully recommend you watch one of the new educators called, hope I pronounce his name right, Sean Augustine. So if you go on DCX, it'll be near the top, I believe. So with Sean, he only goes through, is basically built around someone new on DCX Academy, right? So he goes through the introduction of DCX, he goes through how to use the SwipeCoin scalper and the SwipeCoin app as well, right? So if you click on him, go to his favorite session, and I'll fully recommend you watch. There's two that stands out. Don't know why my internet's so laggy today, but SwipeCoin scalper broken down step by step, and then once you watch that, jump down to Triple S strategy, right? Triple S strategy is Sean's, like, I think 5-step strategy, but if you only use the SwipeCoin scalper step by step that I'm gonna go through, it's pretty much what I'm gonna go through with a few more confirmation to be a bit more confident in yourselves, right? So cool. Um, just so I know, is everyone with me so far? Does anyone have any questions so far? Drop in the chat, or if it's all good, also drop in the chat. All good? Cool. Now, when it comes to trading crypto on MT4 especially, Bitcoin can be very scary, especially right now when like spreads alone is 100 plus pips, right? So again, if you have smaller accounts that's like anything less than 1,000 pounds or dollars, I wouldn't recommend you to like straight trade in it live, right? So what I recommend is just jump here onto Ethereum, because Ethereum is think of it like trading gold, I'd say, right? It's not too scary, it's not too slow, it's just in the middle, right? Now with Ethereum, just to give you some like things to like keep in your mind, for every dollar Ethereum moves is 10 pips, right? So if it goes, let me zoom in for you guys. If it goes from 2045 or 2046 to right now 2065, that's roughly $20 difference, right? So that's about 200 pips from that entry or from that black line to current market price. That's 200 pips, right? Cool. Now, with that being said, the spreads for Ethereum, depending on your brokers, is about 30 to 50 pips. 50 pips max, right? But usually 30 to 40 pips, right? And literally, is keeping it simple. We there's a Telegram channel where we get sent alerts from, right? And if you got the app downloaded and you have DCX package added on, you also get notifications through the app when these buys and sells alerts get popped up, right? So literally step number one is wait for the buy and sell signals to pop up or till we get alerted, right? That's step number one. Step number two is when we get alerted, switch from the candle graph to the line graph, right? So to do that, on the top left, from candles to line, right? Simple as that. That's step two. Step three is roughly where that buy or sell labels pointed out. You want to see if there's a first you want to see this yellow moving average, the EMA. For a sell, you want the market, let me just go back, you want the market to be below that yellow EMA for a sell, right? I'll repeat that again. For a sell, you want the market or you want the candles to be under the yellow EMA, right? For a buy, you want the candles or you want the market to be over the 50 EMA, right? Let me repeat that. For a buy, you want the candles or you want the market to be over the 50 EMA, right? I hope everyone got that. So cool. Once you've seen right here prices above EMA, switch to the line graph, and then the next step would be, this will be step 3, I believe, draw your support and resistance. Now, the reason why we switch to the line graph instead of sticking to the candle graph is because in crypto is very volatile, it jumps up and down so quickly, right? So with that as well, like you can see there's huge wicks and like random wicks basically. But when you switch to the line graph, it kind of hides those wicks and kind of shows you where price actually opens and closes, right? So let's just practice that the rest of it didn't happen. We get called out this buy. We see price moving up from that EMA. So that's two steps of the confirmations. Step 3, draw your support and resistance. Now, most of the times actually, the educators like Crypto Picasso, Nick Gomez, and even Kevin Picaro, they analyze or they draw on the charts for us, right? So for example, this black line and this speech box, the educator's actually done that for us. But if you notice here, a good support and resistance, that's terrible, would be roughly there, right? Basically where they've drawn it. Reason why is because market broke this previous resistance, turned into support twice, right? And whenever you're not sure about if a zone is a good support or resistance, just draw that zone, go back in the past and notice when it did react to that point in time, if that made sense, right? And you can see price kind of like decided if it should use it as a resistance or support, ended up taking it as a support and then breaking it finally to then test as a resistance now, right? So again, you can see this zone react to it multiple times, right? And if I go way back in the past, you can see even more tests, right? So cool. So with that being said, step 3. So we can see that price can hold good support and resistance at that $2,046 region, right? So that's step 3. Now step 4, or the final step basically, is going back to the candle graph and just purely waiting for price to break and close above our support and resistance that we've just drawn, right? So we get called that buy. We see so step 1, we see that buy get called out. Step 2, we notice that price is above the EMA. Step 3, go on the line graph, do the support and resistance, this black line. Step 4, all we have to wait for is one candle to break and close above it, right? So this one didn't happen, this one didn't happen, this one almost happened. This red one just about, boom. We have a candle that breaks and closes above the resistance, right? Now again, if you're not sure if a candle is like properly broken and closing above the zone, then in Sean's video, he has a couple of pictures that really would help you out and like really clear some doubts. So I fully recommend you watch that Sean favorite session video, SarvCoin scalper broken down step by step, right? And just take notes from that. If you're not sure of what I'm going through, right? So cool. It gets called up. It gets broken, and we simply enter straight away, right? We enter straight away right there. And in terms of TPs and SLs, before, stop loss was about 50 pips, but again, because it's so volatile and the spreads has increased, I'd say minimum go for 150 pips, sorry. But if you want to be less stressed, or if you want it to have like room to breathe, then I'd say 200 to 250 pips max, right? Just because we're scalping, like we're not in this for like a swing trade, we're just scalping on like intraday sort of trades, right? So if we have a 200 pip roughly TP1, again, it's whatever you're comfortable with, really. Like this one hit 150 pips in a matter of 15 to 30 minutes, right? Like we have a new member in our team from Pakistan. Like all he does, goes on the SarvCoin scalper, looks at Ethereum scalper trades, catches quick 100 to 150 pip moves, just wait for the next one. Like he literally rinses out Ethereum, and soon he'll be going to a live account and rinsing out on his live account. But yeah, like literally, if you can catch 100 to 150 pips minimum on Ethereum, you're pretty much sorted. Like I have a whole separate compounding plan, which I probably won't have time to go through today, but hopefully on another session. Or if you asked in the group chat, I'm more than happy to share it there. But yeah, TP1 is around 100, like depending on your stop losses, 150 pips for TP1, TP2, 200 pips, TP3, 250 pips, right? So you can see here, TP1 hit immediately. If you were to open up multiple positions, so like twin trading or triple trading, depending on your account size, like first position would have hit you take profit. Other position may have hit you break even if you didn't move your stop loss into profits, right? That's an important thing. Moving stop loss into profits, because as crypto is so volatile, we can get easily swiped out before it just going back in profits, right? So in this case, you would have got broken even, but again, small profits still build up your account, right? As John Dollery says. But yeah, this one went maxed. It maxed out 450 pips, and that's just that for that buy, right? Now, I don't know if I waffled on, but does that make sense to you guys, or do you want me to go through another example, like a sales example? Or is that fine? Let me know in the chat box. Makes sense. Makes sense. Sell example. All right, cool. So with a sell example, right? Let's take this recent one. Now, cool. So there's two cells right here, right? So with this cell, you can see how market is kind of like hugging towards that 50 EMA, right? Like it drops down. It does close below the 50 EMA, but it instantly goes back up and just going back and forth, right? Now, when this cell was called out, I personally wouldn't have taken it just because it's been so choppy around the 50 EMA, right? But since we see here, this takes into account other confirmations as well, but the more you use the scalper, the more you'll pick certain things up, right? Like you can see here, this low broke structure, right? Like it broke past these higher lows basically, right? So you can see on the retracement up, it makes a lower high and kind of it's like a retracement to go even further down, right? So I wouldn't have taken this out even though it did go into like take profit. I would prefer to take this sell, right? Because it's more confident for me, right? But yeah, taking it from step 1, we get that sell label, right? Step 2 is the candles going below the 50 MA? Yes. Step 3, go into our line graph and see if there's a decent support resistance, right? For this one is a bit tricky. I would personally do something like this, right? Why? Because we get that 2 tests here and a reasonable one there, right? So let me go back to a line graph. So that's step 3, getting that support and resistance. Now, even though this cell was called out here, I'm still willing to wait 15, 30, 40, 45 minutes to an hour till I enter this trade because we want to stick to the confirmations, right? As Jay said, it's best to stick to your confirmations. Otherwise, there's no point entering that trade, right? You're just basically gambling money at that point. But yeah, that's step 3. Step 4 was wait for price to basically break and close below that zone, right? Which it did here. So we would have entered straight away when that closed, right? And then take stop loss about 200 pips. Take profit 1. Take profit 1 was around 150 to 200 pips depending on your stop loss. As you can see, this one would have hit within that 15 minutes. Take profit 2, 200 pips, again same thing, would have hit. Take profit 3, 250 pips. That would have taken some time. You may have been in some drawdown, but again, we have that stop loss for a reason, right? We have that breathing space, and it ended up hitting take profit 3, right? In this example, but I'll tell you this: like when you start analyzing crypto on TradingView, like with your own analysis, use the scalper as an extra confirmation, especially if you start using smart money with the scalper. You can have some insane results, right? But I won't go through smart money and all that kind of stuff because again, I value you guys' time and I'll be here for hours if I do that. But yeah, I'll leave it for today. If you have any questions, by all means, drop me a message or drop it in the group chat. But yeah, with that being said, that's pretty much it, and I'll hand it back to Uma.
Wow. Yo, Sarv, you freaking killed it, bro. Honestly, I just want to say, like, firstly, guys, let's not, like, I want to just reiterate, it's not easy. Doesn't make sense. I want everyone on this chat, right, on this call right now, let's all give it back to Jay and Sarv for coming out and, showing their stuff on the call today. Honestly, I want you guys to understand that, the thing that separates successful people and unsuccessful people is the information that they have access to, and then the work ethic that they put in with that information, right? And that's the thing, is that you've got the information there on this call today. You've got the information on HFX for those that want to trade HFX. For those that want to trade crypto DCX, right? You've got the information here. It literally provides the products in order for you to make money. Like, these are money making products. A lot of people, they come into the company, they don't utilize the company. When we say utilize the company, we mean really utilize it. Use the products to help you out. Doesn't make sense. There's nothing wrong, there's nothing wrong with being a trader that relies on the product to make money, because at the end of the day, the thing that matters in trading at the end of the day is the amount of money you're making. Doesn't make sense, guys. Like Imogen said it right there. Rinse the products. Absolutely rinse the products. There's nothing wrong with doing. You're paying for something, just use it. It doesn't make sense. And everything. But honestly, guys, let's give it back to Sarv. Let's give it back to Jay, for coming out on this call today. I want you guys to understand, not like, tomorrow is a new week. Doesn't make sense. Tomorrow is a new week. Guys, let's share the information that we've heard today. Let's tell our friends, tell our family, so and so, and let them know, let them have access to this information. Don't be selfish with it. But yeah, guys, we've got a lot of things planned for the upcoming week. We've got a lot of things planned for April in general. Guys, stay plugged in, stay tuned in. And other than that, guys, that's it from me. Take care, guys. I will see you soon. Take care.